Have you ever visited a building or monument, one that was built by someone great and powerful from history, and wondered why they built it, and how they wanted to be remembered? Well, that's the subject matter of Percy Bysshe Shelley's famous sonnet, Ozymandias. A broken statue of a once mighty Egyptian king, Ramesses II, stands in the desert, thousands of years after it was built. But while the statue remains, the pharaoh is gone, his power undone by the unstoppable march of time. This video is a short explanation of some of the key ideas and themes of the poem. If you want to watch my illustrated reading of the poem, click the link at the end, or visit my channel, Comics and Lit. Ozymandias was written in 1817 by British Romantic poet Percy Bysshe Shelley, whose writing on the power and beauty of nature, the restless joy and pain of the human experience, and rebellion against authority, left a lasting mark on the literary world. I like to think of Ozymandias as an anti-authority poem. Its two key themes, the short-lived nature of power and the pride and cruelty of powerful rulers, are timeless, which explains why it has remained so popular hundreds of years after it was written. Perhaps the simplest way to understand the poem is through Shelley's use of symbolism. Remember, symbolism is a literary method where objects take on another meaning, like the dove as a symbol of peace, or a heart symbolizing love. So what do statues symbolize? Even in the modern world, statues are a symbol of power, wealth, and status. Humans build statues to commemorate great kings and queens and people of significance, so we can infer that in Ozymandias, the statue is symbolic of the power and influence of the Egyptian king who built it. However, there is an important difference. Instead of a whole statue, Shelley presents us with a broken one, two trunkless legs of stone, and a shattered visage meaning face, which lies half sunk in the sand. So what does a broken statue symbolize? The failing of human power over time? The collapse into insignificance of a once great ruler who is slowly being buried by the endless sand of the desert? Shelley uses this symbolism to make a point about human power. It is ephemeral, which means lasting for a very short time. This idea links well with the middle part of the poem, which uses irony, saying the opposite of what we mean, to powerful effect. After describing the face of the statue, which still bears the sneer of cold command of its subject, the narrator describes the writing on the pedestal or base of the statue. It reads, "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair." Shelley uses this inscription to reveal the pride and cruelty of Ozymandias. The message essentially means, I am the greatest of all kings, bow down before my power. But given that we know the statue is now symbolically broken, and the king dead, this creates a sense of irony. It may say King of Kings, but the king is dead. It may say, look on my works and despair, but I think Shelley wants us to feel hope, since this cruel ruler, with his sneer of cold command, is no longer powerful. He has been defeated, not by humans, but by time. Shelley uses irony here both to mock the cruel king, but also to present a truth, that no human power lasts forever. The poem ends by further emphasizing that truth. The sentence, "Nothing beside remains," ends with a caesura, or break in the middle of a line, which forces us to stop and consider the emptiness behind Ozymandias' power. His empire has fallen, and besides the broken statue, with the prideful words carved on the pedestal, there is nothing else left. The nothingness left behind can be seen as a metaphor for the foolishness of great rulers who see themselves as gods, but are still only human. Shelley shifts the focus to the desert with the final line of the sonnet, "The lone and level sands stretch far away," here distancing the reader from the statue and the king and encouraging us to look towards the steadiness and power of nature, a force Shelley believes is far greater than any monarch.